Welcome to postpartum 9 weeks out. Yeah.
Guys, we made it to the hospital.
This is Miss Letty Rowe. Alright, first thing is symptoms. Anything new? Not really anything new other than my boobs just still feel like they're deflating, I will say. And then the only other new-ish symptom, which I had this during pregnancy for like a short bit, and then I have it now too, is just like kind of dry skin or dry scalp. So I know that that's related to hormones. But anything new other than that, not really. As far as emotions go, this week I feel pretty good. I would say that I have not dealt with any kind of postpartum depression. I definitely had those typical baby blues in the beginning, but now I'm not really feeling that way. I mean, occasionally I get really like emotional about, oh my gosh, she's getting so big, or I just want to spend as much time as possible with her today because she's growing so fast. And so you still go through those kinds of things, and maybe you have some low days and high days, but overall, like I said, have not dealt with depression, but it could still hit. Some people it hits 3 months, 6 months, like 9 months. It really is different for everyone, especially because your hormones with breastfeeding especially are changing all the time. So if you are going through that, highly encourage you to talk to your doctor or a specialist about that. Definitely don't feel like it's normal, or even if you're not sure, it's best to just talk to someone about it. So again, highly encourage that. But that's really emotional state. I feel like I have been stressed this week just because we're in limbo with our new house and have not been able to move in yet. So yeah. As far as feeding goes, breastfeeding is still going great. She's eating like less times per day. She kind of went through a couple days where she fed more often, and I think it's like that 8-week leap type. So not a huge concern. I just kind of go with the flow. She's still eating about every 2 hours, which is fine with me. And then at night, eating 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night. But no big changes. I haven't been pumping at all, just because we have a good storage of milk, and so we can use that for the future. But I also will, if I'm going to leave Brad to watch her, I'll just like pump really quick before I go and leave, or I'll feed her and then I'll leave. So that's what we're doing right now. As far as sleep goes, she is still on the same routine as last week. She's sleeping that long chunk at night and then waking up a couple times, per night, every like 2 or 3 hours. And then during the day, still taking cat naps, and she'll sleep really well if she's on me. But most of the time, just those 30-minute naps. She's able to fall asleep if I swaddle her, turn the white noise on, and pacify her. But I don't need to rock her anymore, which sometimes I will just because I want to spend time with her. But she's pretty good at falling asleep on her own, which is really, really nice. As far as like my sleep goes, nothing has changed. I'm not suffering at all. I feel tired during the day, but not extreme. So it's okay. High and low of the week would be high. I can't think of a high right now. Maybe knowing that, sure, we get to move in next week instead of this week, although that's kind of like a low at the same time. But I would say the other low was just she got her 2-month shots, which if your baby's gonna get that soon or has gotten them, like they're really not that bad. We went to the doctor. She's, growing great and all that. But she got 4, I think 2 shots in one leg, 1 shot in the other, and then an oral one. So she cried for like the first 20 seconds, and then I held her and she was fine. And then a couple hours later, she was very, very fussy. Like she never cries really unless she needs something. So for her, crying and fussing like that was like, okay, she must be just not feeling good at all. So I did the Tylenol thing, and then I did Tylenol before bed again, and she was great. So I have not heard anything about doing Tylenol before that appointment if yours is coming up, but you know, you can always ask your doctor. I didn't do it. She was fine. But the day after, she was fine again. So it really only lasts like that day, so don't freak out too much about it. As far as she goes, she is like holding her head up a little bit more. Now she's like 2 months old officially. And so she has done a little bit better with tummy time, moving her head side to side. In her appointment, we did talk about kind of like she has a right side tilt a little bit. So we're going to try to stretch that out and work on that with her tummy time, and hopefully it'll just kind of like phase out. But we try not to keep her on the back of her head a lot. She doesn't hate tummy time, which is great. So we're gonna continue to do that. She has a little, it's called like a hemangioma on her tongue, and it's just a little like red spot, kind of like a birthmark, and it hasn't grown at all, so that's good. But the doctor was going to just kind of like check if hemangiomas were more concerning if they're on the tongue. So I'm kind of waiting to see if she finds anything out and calls me. I'm not really sure. She probably forgot, honestly. But she, instead of the 90th percentile, is in the 75th percentile now for head size and height and weight, which is great. Like, she's just kind of like tapered off, which I figured she would. We're not really like huge people, so her being in the 90th percentile before, I assumed would just kind of like drop off. So that's how she's doing. I'm going to show you a product that I really loved this week. So let me pull it. So this is kind of like a little play mat. It does come with a mat that lays underneath, but it's great for like playing. I mean, she'll literally lay here for 30 minutes and just like look at these little toys hanging and try to get at them or look at the mirror. There's also this part right here, which makes noise. I'll have to figure out what this is called. I'm sure you can find it literally at Walmart or Target or whatever. It's very common. But it's got like music and lights, which, you know, originally I didn't really think that I would be a fan of, because I know like Montessori style, hippie style is like not a lot of color and not a lot of noise and lights and all these things. But for her, for tummy time especially, she loves this light panel and the sounds, and she'll love kicking it if we put her feet this way. So I would say this is a great investment. I'm really not sure if it's that expensive, to be honest. So highly recommend this. I'll try to link it below for you. As far as my body goes and healing, I would say that I'm a little bit like further healed. I still try to work on my core strength and that core breathing to strengthen my pelvic floor, and I do feel like that's helping over time. I didn't get a chance to work out a lot this week just because we've been moving and Brad's been pretty busy, so he hasn't been able to watch her. So I've gotten a couple workouts in, but we're just really excited to be in our new place, and so I can work out there and be closer to the gym to go there. So it's all going to change, and hopefully it will change when we finally move in. But I think I lost like a pound this week. I'm not really sure. Like, I haven't been trying to, but I think just because last week and this week, just kind of eating less because I'm more busy, or like I have her all the time, so I like have to have something to grab to eat versus making a meal. So I did get some freezer meals that are pretty good macros. I think it's like the Healthy Choice cafe steamers, and those are actually pretty tasty, so those are something I recommend. I just got them at Walmart. But yeah, not trying to lose weight at all, just trying to be more active and looking forward to being more active when we move. But clothes still aren't fitting. My previous clothes aren't. I feel fine. I'm definitely excited that I'm not like gaining weight. So anyway, we'll look at how my body is compared to week 1 postpartum. It's definitely different. So I'm just excited to continue to make progress over time.